Welcome back to Living Local. Q2030 is a regional action plan for our emerging community on the Mississippi River. The goal? To make the Quad Cities recognized globally by the year 2030 for growing and attracting businesses, culture, and learning. One effort underway to build momentum towards this goal is a local leadership conference. Joining me in studio we have Greg Aguilar. He is the director of Q2030, and Reverend Dwight Ford. He's a Q2030 champion. Gentlemen, thank you so much for being here on Living Local.
Thank you for having us.
So first of all, Greg, remind us how the Q2030 initiative got started.
Oh, sure. Back in about 2013, 2014, regional leaders, organization leaders, business leaders were asking, what if we all collaborated and worked together for a common vision of where we want the Quad Cities to be? 2015, the Warehouse of Ideas came out that had a lot of tactics and ideas of what we should be doing as a region to help elevate our community to be globally recognized for attracting and retaining talent, on top of businesses as well. So 2016, we launched Q2030 publicly. And we wanted the Quad Cities, our nonprofits, our largest employers, everybody to get on board with a plan that would help elevate our community. And so we're really excited. We're in our third year of Q2030, working towards some of our top line metrics that include increasing population, increasing post-secondary education, fighting against poverty. And I'm very happy to say that I love seeing the collaboration that's been happening in the community. And this is a part of that collaboration, bringing people together to help advance those causes.
Oh, whenever I talk about Q2030, my heart starts racing. I get so excited. Sure. This vision plan is so energizing because the Quad Cities has so much to offer people. I've lived here for 2 years, and the longer that I'm here, the more that I realize the insane potential that our community has. And so I just get, you guys, I just get amped up about this. Okay, so obviously you were amped up about this too, Reverend Ford. So why did you want to get involved?
Well, whenever there's an opportunity for us to collaborate and work together and form networks that actually work to enhance the life of all of our citizenry, it was a no-brainer for me. I absolutely threw everything I had to get in and to lift the effort as much as I could from my vantage point.
Fantastic. And today we are focusing on the Critical Mass Global City Leadership Conference.
Yes.
Long name, but we're going to kind of unpack what is that and what can guests expect.
Sure. Well, I want to just break down the long name.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Critical Mass is that we believe that most efforts that change life for so many people start with a dedicated few people, really pushing to kind of create momentum. So that critical mass is the individuals that come to the table early. They push probably the hardest, and they stay at it, in it the longest. And so that helps us get started. Now, global leadership, I don't think we can talk about leadership without talking about a global reality. It's my actual hope that more people will get a passport and travel the world. It's been a part of my life now as a professional ever since 19 years old. However, even if you don't get a passport, which is my desire, the passport comes to you. People from all over the world reside here now in the Quad Cities, and we have to have a leadership that is prepared to engage the world, not just locally.
That's so true. It is so important to have an eye for diversity and a compassionate understanding for diversity in our community, because it's going to be hard to grow unless we can be, you know, an inclusive community.
Absolutely.
So, Reverend Ford, who is this conference for, and what do you hope that guests will take away from it?
Well, that conference, it's our third year now. And we actually started with this idea of inclusive leadership. So I'm privileged in the sense that I have a wonderful education. I've traveled the world. I have great experiences, and I serve on great boards. I started realizing that I was always one, if not the only, African American. And then I said, well, how can we make these spaces more available for everyday people? And I started watching friends leave here and do wonderful things other places. So that's how the conference actually got started, with an intent to create a leadership pipeline for local leadership. So it's for everybody. We're interdisciplinary on purpose. So educators, people that are involved with justice issues, the criminal justice discipline as a whole, people that are involved in religious and faith communities, individuals that are tied to corporate commitments. It's for everybody that's concerned about how do they develop their sense of leadership.
That is fantastic. Now, when and where is the event, and then how can people get involved?
Well, when and where, we're going to be downtown on the beautiful campus of Scott Community College, the urban campus in Davenport. It's October 4th. We start at 8 a.m. And if people haven't got a reserved ticket yet, you can just show up that day. We love to have you, but they can go to the website as well, iamcriticalmass.com. Go to the registration link for information about the conference and register right there. It's $40. It includes lunch, but it puts you in a world of opportunity. So it's a fast-moving day. There'll be people there of all ethnicities, all races. There'll be individuals there from all disciplines and intergenerationally. So we commit ourselves to make sure there are millennials in presentation and audience, that there are Gen Xers like myself and boomers as well that will be presenting and as a part of the audience.
That's fantastic. It's for all ages, all backgrounds, coming together with one common goal. Greg, why do you think that this conference is a great component of the Q2030 plan?
A lot of Q2030 is placemaking. We want people to feel that they can make it here in the Quad Cities, that this is a community that is for them. We've always been very good with diversity in the region. What we're really working towards now is equity and inclusion, ensuring that everyone has an opportunity to develop their leadership skills, to participate in civic engagement through a board and commission. And also, this is a great way to retain talent. As we've heard from Reverend Ford earlier, there's unfortunately sometimes people want to leave the area, and we want your energy that you have. We want people to say this place is great because it is. And part of the reason that we're great is that we take care of our Quad citizens. We want to see them succeed. And Q2030 helps keep these visions in front of people. This is the plan, this is the direction that we're going. And then individual leaders or champions like Reverend Ford and what he's doing, he's saying, I'm going to carry this piece of the warehouse of ideas and ensure that we have a leadership development program that will help create a pipeline for our local city as well as statewide commissions and boards to ensure that we have equitable and inclusive leadership at all layers of our community.
That's fantastic. And Reverend Ford, you mentioned there definitely are those key players in our community that have that passion and drive, and they've been in it from the very beginning. Now, if people are hearing this message and they're getting fired up like I'm getting fired up, what do they do? Obviously, they can go to the leadership conference. What are some other ways they get plugged in and help fuel the Q2030 plan?
Wonderful. So once they come to the conference, even if they can't make it to the conference, I hope they do.
Right.
But there are ways throughout the year. So this isn't kind of one swing at one pitch only. So we have the Blueprint Institute that brings in racial and ethnic minorities for development. If you are an individual that has an expertise, that understands boards, please get in touch with me. I would love to have you come in as a guest speaker. And if you're an individual that could benefit from the training, let us know. We want to get you plugged in. We also have an exploratory learning program for young people to look at careers that they normally don't get introduced to, so that they can think about themselves staying here. But in the past, maybe they just said, for me to do that, I have to leave. So we bridge that with wonderful leaders in the community to help them figure out, how can I stay with great mentors right here in the local area? And so we're working hard to ensure. And finally, I do have something that's going to be, it'll be announced at the conference, but because I'm with you, I got to at least talk about it.
Yes.
Is that we have an emerging leaders workshop for everyone that says, hey, I've got these ideas, I want to move up. I want to specifically bring together millennials, emerging leaders, to say, we want you to start leading now, not just somewhere down in the future. We want you to get in early, start practicing leadership and being involved on a local level. So that's some of the things that are coming up. People can get involved in many different ways.
Such an exciting opportunity there. And today we are focusing on the leadership conference, but Greg, tell us what other efforts are underway to drive the Q2030 plan home.
Sure. One thing, following up with what Reverend Ford said, is we need Quad citizens to get involved. We have great organizations that are leading the way in advancing the plan. Visit Quad Cities, the United Way, various foundations, the Quad Cities Community Foundation, the Chamber of Commerce. Those are 4 outlets of nonprofits and leaders who are saying, hey, we want to help advance this plan. So one great step is to check out our website, see what you like, see what fits with what you're into, and connect there. It's a great way to expand your networks. That's also something very important. I want to encourage Quad citizens to do a couple things. Number one, get out of the house. We offer so much in the Quad Cities. Go explore the spiritual community. Go explore our nonprofits. Go explore our small business. We have so much to offer. And I think sometimes we just get stuck in our communities, but even within your own community, check out the West End, check out the central part of your city. There is so much going on. Second thing that I really want Quad citizens to do to help advance our plan is we need to start bragging about why we are great. I love the Midwest. I think sometimes we're a little bit Midwest humble when it comes to how great we are. We have incredible amounts of institutions of higher education. We have numerous community schools that are recognized nationally for academic excellence. And the best part too is there are so many different types of people. So if you're a loner, you maybe want to hang out with one or two people, you'll find that. If you want to hang out with groups, there's constantly things going on. But the key here is get out of the house, go explore. Also, make sure that we're bragging, sharing with your friends. If you're a grandparent watching the show, call your grandkids and tell them why we're great. But also a little bit in the future is we're going to take a mid-course review. We're going to look at what we've been able to accomplish as a region. How are we different now with Q2030? And we've seen a lot of great change. One of the things that I'm really proud about seeing our region is start being leaders in diversity. We saw St. Ambrose universities as well as Augustana College have vice presidents of equity, diversity, and inclusion. That's a big deal. We didn't have this before. We're starting to see the United Way stepping up and creating the African American Leadership Society as a way to help advance a community that wants leadership development and that wants inclusion like we all do in this region. And so we're really starting to see how we're different. We're also starting to see communities and cities come together to say, hey, what can we work on together so that not one person has to do it all? Because if everybody does a little bit, no one has to do a lot.
Right, powerful action steps towards the Q20 goal, Q2030 goal, I should say. Greg, Reverend Ford, thank you guys so much for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Guys, for more information or to get your tickets, you can visit iamcriticalmass.com. We also have those details posted on ourquadcities.com. More Living Local continues after this. Stay with us.